What's happening, YouTube? It's your homie S. Dot coming back to you from another video. And today's video is a special one for me and for this channel because this is my very first Digimon TCG deck profile. Not only is it a deck profile, but it's a top 64 deck profile. Now, I'm by no means necessarily bragging about that because me as a player in my competitive nature, I know I can do better than that. And within due time, as I continuously keep learning the game and learn ins and outs of certain decks and their tendencies and things like that and their security, of course, I'll definitely, strive to get better and, definitely continue to stay competitive at this game. But yeah, I played Yellow WarGreymon this weekend with Tech Mastemon, so Yellow WarGrey / Mastemon, if you will. Mastemon was not the main focus; it still was WarGrey. The deck did very well, but I started well and then ended up fumbling towards the end. It was really bad. So yeah, I got 58th place out of like 242 players. But the problem is I went 4-0 and then I ended up 4-3, and I'll tell you why. So yeah, my round one. Well, actually, you know what? Before I even jump into that, we gotta give a couple shout outs. I gotta shout out to my I've newly joined the Limit Break team. So shout out to the team Limit Break with Eli, Alex, we got King, we got Emmanuel, we got Fern, we got Lichi. Shout out to, of course, Lichi got 5th place with BlackWarGreymon. Check out that deck profile if you haven't heard the plug. I think he just posted it actually as I'm making my video. So you definitely, I'll post a link in the description to their channel. And shout out to everybody on the team. I know there's like a couple, I don't even know how many guys are on the team, but they gave me a warm welcome and I'm happy to be on the team and to continuously learn. Like I said, I've been playing the game. Well, like I said, I always say that, but I've been playing the game for about a month and a half now. I came in kind of on the very tail end of 1.5. So there are a lot of decks I'm still not familiar with and things like that. So I will slip up and I'll mess up and it'll cost me dearly. And again, I'll tell you that here in my round matchup. But overall, again, I think this deck is still very good despite my performance. Top 64, it's still okay, but I don't think I'm bragging about, making 58th place or whatever. It's like, for me, it's like about wins or kind of nothing, to be honest, but whatever. So yeah, got my decent accomplishment. And so my very first round, I played against a standard WarGrey deck, and I think one game he bricked, and another game I think I won normally. Round 2 I played against Nidhogg Hurt Control. And by the way, all 7 of my rounds were all 2-0s, whether I got 2-0'd or I 2-0'd my opponent. Like, I literally never went to a game 3, which was kind of crazy. There was even one round where I got 2-0 so fast, which I'll talk about, that I was able to go actually run and go get food. I had like 30 more minutes left in the round, so I was like, well, I guess I could use my time wisely instead of just sitting here sulking in my sorrow. So I ran and got me some food, some brain fuel for my future rounds. So yeah, I played against Nidhogg Hurt Control round 2. I think there was one game where he didn't see level 5s, and then there was another game where he didn't see level 4s. So that was just really unfortunate. I was able to build a board, and by the time he did see his, of course, it was just too late. You guys know how it goes in the Digimon TCG. Round 3, I played against Grand Kawago OTK. I think that was more the same. One game he kind of bricked and had to hard drop Veggies, which shout out to Veggimon, man. A level 4 that's a 4 drop, and like, it's not as bad when you have to drop him, for 4 costs versus like, other decks that have their 4 costs usually being 6-5 plus costs, or 6-7 costs or whatever. Well, I don't think there are any 7s, but you get what I'm saying. So I guess I'm looking at Petermon, thinking of Petermon, how he's 6 drop. I've had to drop him a few times, but digression aside, yeah, so the Grand Kawago OTK, he wasn't able to actually do a ton of damage to me. I think one time, he Digiburst only 2 and he went for 2 checks, and on the second check, he hit one of my Valda arms. So that helped for him not to be able to follow up into a, Chaosmon. So yeah, ended up taking that round. And then round 3, I played against round 4, I played against another Grand Kawago OTK. Ended up taking that one as well. I think it was much of the, it's like thematic. It just keeps happening. I think one game again, he didn't see enough 5s. I know one of these Grand Kawagas, it's not that he didn't see one of his lines at all. I remember he just didn't see enough 5s to continuously be able to keep playing. And of course, that's unfortunately going to happen as well. And it's all very nerve-wracking. I'll definitely say in this game, it's more nerve-wracking to brick than any other game, because like in Yu-Gi-Oh, when I used to play back in the day from like between 2007 and 2014, you could bluff with things like Gore's Emissary Darkness. If you guys, old Yu-Gi-Oh heads know what I'm talking about. You could like just bluff with certain things or whatever and still be able to potentially come back off of your opponent, trying to play around what they think you have, yada, yada, yada. But yeah, point being, it's a lot more traumatic in this game when you brick and you're watching your opponent just scale up their stacks for their level 3 to level 4 to level 5 and going on and so on and so forth. So that's kind of what happened with round 4. Ended up winning that. Then this is where things literally go downhill. We talk about a roller coaster ride. Round 5, I played against standard yellow WarGrey again. Now this is to the eventual winner of the event. Actually, he went 7-0. Shout out to Sean, aka Wolf Legend or Wolf something, I think. But yeah, he went 7-0 with standard yellow WarGrey. Literally both games, which was kind of like odd that it happened to me because it's never happened to me before. But he had the same line, like in literally all plays, both games. He had the level 3 into Turimon into a Angelomon, and then like I go to choke him at 1, and then he raises Angelomon, blinding ray to WarGrey, attacks, you know, has 3 security, plays a Loosemon, go to 4. The next turn he attacks again, takes the security, goes back to 3, summon a Bushi with Angelomon, attack again, summon another Bushi with Angelomon, and it happened literally the same way, including the Loosemon both games in a row. Sorry if I keep shaking my camera. So like the fact that line has happened twice like that, and like I think game 1 I bricked, so the bricks finally, these are the bricks, they finally caught up to me. And the fact that I bricked then, and then game 2, I just didn't get to my line faster than he, or as fast as he did, and I just ended up just losing. It was such a quick 2-0, swiftly 2-0, and again was able to go to Sheets and pick me up some food. Shout out to Sheets and give me some breakfast sandwiches because yeah, and just wait for the next round. So then after that, I get to round 6 and I played against Rookie Rush. And like I alluded to in the beginning, me being newer to the game, yes, I'm going to use that excuse for a while because I mean, it is what it is. When you're new to any game, you know, you're going to potentially be blindsided by a lot of things you're not expecting or unfamiliar with because you haven't been playing as long. So yeah, I ran into a situation where against Blue-Green Rookie Rush, it didn't dawn on me that when he had his blue egg that obviously he plays Hammer Sparks. Now, I didn't see any like when he flipped for Stravymons to search, you know, for a blue tamer or another hybrid or anything like that. And long story short, I'm at 1 memory and I literally have a crazy winning position on the board. And we both know it, and I'm going to do my plays, and I like just go for broke. I like do the double. Now I'm doing like the guy round 5 did to me. I dropped double Bushi with the WarGrey attacks, and on that second WarGrey attack, I hit a Hammer Spark, and then it put him to 1. And the way my field was set up, I wasn't able to, you know, obviously end on a Unimon or a Pedomon like you normally would. And yeah, I ended up literally losing because I think I had no blockers and I had 1 security. He had a guy in raising to bring up, and then he had the Davis to be able to play Lobo over it and Lobo me for the game. So that felt so bad to literally be in the driver's seat and for somebody to do a Tyrese ejecto-cito cuz and just pop you out of the driver's seat and pop like that. That's what it felt like. I felt like somebody ejecto-seated me. Shout out to Fast and Furious. So I know that was cheesy, but that's what it felt like. Like, how do you feel like you literally about to win and then like, nah, I win. Oh. Anyway, and then game 2, at insult to injury, what made it worse was I bricked. So here we go again. I bricked, and I feel like maybe I shouldn't have played the Turimon to give him 6, but in hindsight, my next 3 draws still weren't rookies. And yeah, first thing he does, which made it even worse, is I put him to 6. He plays the Davis to go to 2. He reveals like Aqua Viper, Lobomon, and what's the green guy called? Puppetmon. So like that was like the best. You can't ask for anything better than that, especially with the green. Well, he's playing Blue-Green Rookie Rush, but like best case scenario there. And shout out to him though. He was I think he ended up getting like 6 after Swiss. I cannot talk. He's from True Champ Games, the TCG online series. Check out their Discord. They have an event going on June or July 24th. So not this weekend coming, but the following weekend. So about 2 weeks away, literally. So yeah, shout out to him. He ended up getting top 8 of the event with his Blue-Green Rookie Rush. But yeah, so like ended up losing that one. Now at this point, you got to think 4-0 to that bad loss into the yellow WarGrey. I can't, you know, you can shake that off and get to the next round. Then I get to the next round and I lose again how I did because of not thinking about Hammer Spark. The thing is, if I was playing against Imperial, I would obviously, you know, be more aware of the Hammer Spark because they're playing all blue. And it just slipped my mind thinking about him playing any Hammer Sparks. I didn't see any at all. And out of sight, out of mind thing, I'm just focused on trying to go for game, hit the Hammer Spark, and what makes it, again, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna continue on. I had a blinding ray, and I also had a Loosemon in my hand. So if I would have played correctly and known about potentially, you know, hitting Hammer Spark in my turn, I would have definitely manipulated my turn to where I wouldn't have been able to win that turn, which I guess I got a little greedy. I guess a lot of greedy because I ended up losing the game. But I would have put myself in a winning position to not lose next turn and then definitely win next on my following turn. So it is what it is. And then round 7, I played against another standard yellow WarGrey, a really cool guy. But I ended up like just getting my ass kicked in that one again because once again I bricked. And what made it even worse is game 2, I did open a rookie, but it was Lucamon, and I can't evolve with Lucamon. So there was the breaks once again. And just like that, it was another quick ass loss. And I'm sitting here like there was like what 30 or so minutes left in the round. And like it's just really unfortunate to go forward with a 4-3 like that. But we walk away at least with an Agumon. Of course, we get the Koromon for participation, and we're gonna just keep improving as time goes along. So without further ado, I'll by the way put timestamps as well. So if you guys don't want to hear me ramble about my rounds, you can just jump right to this point, the deck list. So first off, we got the I'm about to say the rookies. Jesus, that's another thing I can't. A lot of times I forget which ones were champions and megas and all that. Don't ask. It's very simple. We have 4 Koromon and 1 Upamon. Very, very simple. I was thinking about at one point doing 2 Upamon, 1 Coral, or just switching and going 4 Upa, 4 Upa, 1 Coral. To be honest, I think it just takes some extensive testing, is literally switch them up and see what happens and see what matters or doesn't matter. The Koromon, I will say, did come up a lot today. There was one specific play where I was able to, attack with 1 line that had a Koromon, like I think it was a Balder arm, and he had 2 blockers. One of the blockers was the 5k Complementariemon blocker, and I swung and minus 4k to his Complementariemon to put it at 4k. Then I had enough memory to be able to drop WarGrey over the I think a Pedomon or something, one of my level 4s, doesn't matter what it was, and just pop it for this last 4k. And then they only had 1 blocker, and I still had a slew of other characters Digimon to attack with. And yeah, so that was pretty good. And just overall, of course, this card is just really good in the mirror match. The yellow deck is the most played deck in the format, and being able to attack over your opponent's WarGrey by putting theirs down to 10k with your 11k WarGreymon is obviously really good. And then Upamon, of course, is always good for that draw. Very nice. And then jumping right into the rookies, of course, first we got the Bushy Agumon. Bushy for game. Shout out to Eli for his little meme that he put out for Bushy for game. If you have the TK out, of course, you could blind the rate of 5. You could drop this and still not end your turn and be able to continue your turn. And you might be able to, well, I don't know if you'll swing with this and then Digivolve 1 over, but you can to potentially choke your opponent if they don't have a memory tamer. Which is overall, not a lot to say about this card. You guys have all dealt with this card in some way, shape, or form, I'm sure, in the past couple of weeks. Bushy for game is a real deal. Obviously, you can summon it off of Angelomon. Even furthermore, I could play it off of Mastemon, which is really nice. Very, very strong card, and a 4 of in this version especially. I think most versions are like playing between 3 and 4 now anyway, but it's like 2 minimum no matter what you do. So Bushy for game. Next up, we have 4 Pulsemon. First off, I got to shout out my boy Sento, one that got me into the game in the first place. He also let me borrow one of his Pulsemons during pre-release season for Great Legends. I only got 3. I wish I got a 4 so I could always just have the 4. I don't know what I was thinking. I only had 3, and I'm only saying that in hindsight because the card is like $45 now instead of what, 20 when it first came out. But for that 20, I still should have just picked it up just in case. In worst case scenario, just sell it or trade it later on. But I digress. Pulsemon was very good all day. It's treated as a Sukaimon a lot of the times if you have 3 or less memory. Of course, 3 is the sweet spot where you really want to be at because it'll be a 2-drop and draw a card essentially. So it's like a little, it's a little less of a cost than like Gabumon, the blue Gabumon. Very, very, very good card to play off of Angelomon to bring back from Mastemon, etc. So 4 of those, probably the best rookie in the deck. And I mean, I guess they compete for a spot, but Pulsemon is definitely very, very good. Next up, we have 3 Patamon. This is the Patamon that when your opponent's Digimon hits 0 by DP loss, that you gain 1 memory. This definitely came up a lot. It was really nice with WarGreymon to be able to WarGrey Digiburst the 5 and the 2 to like kill one of the little guys. Patamon lets me gain a memory, so if I already have TK out, TK would put me to 4. Then I can drop the Mastemon, and Mastemon will put me at 0, and I can still actually continue my turn. So if I had a Bushy in my grave, I can Mastemon, bring it out, and start swinging and stuff. Overall, this card was just very good. Even like if I had with Slash or Balder a couple times, it was really nice to manipulate it to even where if my opponent had a tamer, like my Balder would normally put them at 4, well not normally, but let's say there was a point where Balder would put them at 4, the Patamon would bring them back to their 3 where they would normally be at. Little things like that. It definitely came up a good bit, and it's hard for me to want to cut this card. I might actually cut 1 for some other cards in the future, like I did in this Lotmon. If my boy didn't have a pulse for me to borrow, this would have been 1 random Lotmon, I think, or maybe I am playing a 1 of in here that I wish I was playing at least 2 of, but yeah, digression aside, the way this was set up was fine. but I definitely still will switch it up in the future. Anyway, we got 2 more Patamons, but this is the healing Patamon. When you are at 1 security or less, recover 1 on play. 4 cost, 0 to Digivolve, 2k attack. Very solid card. Has combinations, good combos with either, I mean, all 3. You know, Angelomon, bring it back to Mastemon, or even hard playing it because, you know, there are situations where you're in a pinch and you can kind of really get you can get a little bit reckless with your WarGreymon and like add your last security and just drop this back. Or if you're at 2 security, you can add that, go to 1, and then you know, add it or heal it back with the Patamon. So Patamon was very solid. I just got these from TCG Player and they came in time, I think on Thursday. So I'm glad they came when they did, so I could have some time to potentially test them. Very solid card, excuse me. I don't think 1 is enough, and I think 3 is too many. So the 2 is a sweet spot for a card like this. Next up, we have 2 Loosemon, the card. I don't know what I was gonna say there, but yeah. So Loosemon's a very good card, of course. Again, combination with synergy with Angelomon. You can bring it back from off of you know, Mastemon, and it's nice in security sometimes. Sometimes they have a Magna Angemon or a Magna Dramon rather, and they go 10k to 10k. Sometimes their Loosemon run, you know, into security into this Loosemon. So small application, but of course this card is just really solid overall. Part of me wanted to go down to 1 after this event when, like, technically I really only have 14 rookies to start the game with versus, you know, this is 16, but it's really only 14 real rookies to start with when I start Digivolving and start trying to get my lines and progress my turn and my board state. But I think I will keep the 2 because I think I want to try Magna Dramon myself actually in the future. So there's that. Again, I think the camera shook. I apologize for that. But yeah, overall, the 2 were fine. I just think a lot of it was more my technical play than anything else, to be honest with you, through most of the day. But I definitely think, like, if you only have 1 Loosemon, 1 is definitely fine. And like, you can definitely like add the last card that I'm going to talk about, the 1 Salamon. Like, this Loosemon could definitely be another Salamon and it'll be fine. I honestly think it was weird. Again, I don't think it was okay to play just 1 random rookie if it's not Loosemon. I think like this Loosemon, again, could have just been a second Sala. This 1 Sala felt kind of weird. I don't think it really ever went off at all this tournament. Hence, because again, I'm only playing 1, so I rarely saw it, you know, percentage wise. But overall, it was still fine. 16 rookies, 16 rookies. So not saying to play any 16 rookies, but you get what I mean. Next up for our level 4s, we have 4 Turimon. I will say the first thing I think of when I look at Turimon is the fact that he has 6k, and I think that was very important. I guess the Nidhogg deck, the green deck, was the most worrisome deck I was worried about playing when it came to the tournament, and of course I played against 3 of them in a row, so very nerve-wracking round 2 through 4. But this is very important to be able to have out and potentially have out, like if you have a Valder out, to not get greedy with swinging with your Valder, unless you have an Angelomon under there and you really need to swing with it and like progress your game state, your board state in some type of way or whatever, depending on the situation. But overall, this Turi is just very nice, you know, as a 1 cost Digivolution. Not a lot more to say about that. Then, of course, to follow up with the 1 cost, we have our 1 cost blocker from BT4 Great Legends. The Pidomon, that's 5k. I definitely prioritize kind of holding these in my hand and, you know, not just leaving them out thinking I'm safe and then I get Nidhogg to death and, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, definitely another very solid card for the deck. Got to play the 4, being 1 cost. Of course, your ideal starting hand is to always at least have a rookie that you can Digivolve with, and then one of these 8, because Digivolve for free, put them to 1, go. You know, that's like the most ideal turn you can normally have. And sometimes you have to put them to 2 with the Unimon, but it's all good. It is what it is. The only reason why I'm not playing a 3rd Unimon is because, simply put, Mastemon can get it back, and space wouldn't allow me to be able to play a 3rd. The standard versions usually play 4 Pedo, 3 Unimon, but I was only able to play 2 in here. Again, I prioritize getting him out over Pedomon if I can allow it and not give them too much memory. Like if the 2 is not as much as given, if it's not bad to give him the 2 versus the 1, I will prioritize getting out the Uni. You want to be careful with Nidhogg and try to play again around it as much as possible. I will say, I know, like, you know, it pretty much, like, it forces them, like, if you keep your Balder like just stacked untapped or unsuspended, and like, you know, one of these or like a Turimon or whatever, it forces them to sincerely have a needle spray or a flower cannon to be able to like tap another one of your guys. And then if they do that, they probably, if you keep them at 3, if they go to 1 with the needle spray, etc., then if they Nidhogg you, they're going to give you 4. You know, I guess 4 is not as much as 3 with your memory tamer, but digression aside, ultimately you've got to be careful when you're playing against the Nidhogg deck, and that 6k is very important, is what I'm getting at. I get off track a lot if you guys couldn't tell, but I get back on track too. So next up, we have 4 Angemon, definitely the best level 5 in the deck, no questions asked, hence why I'm playing 4 of this one and only 2 of the other 2. But yeah, so when you drop this, when Digivolve and being on the -2 security attack on one of your opponent's Digimon, best case scenario, well, not best case, but some of the solid scenarios where this is nice is like their guy that's already maxed out Digivolve, so like an Omnimon or a Chaosmon, etc., because they can't Digivolve over it into something else to like be able to kill it. You can like bring this, you can bring your level 4 out, Digivolve into this minus security attack on that guy so they can't mess with your security stack, and then you can follow up on the next turn, depending on, you know, what warrants the situation with your memory, to be able to go into your level 6s and go from there. And then, of course, we have the best part of her effect is her ESS skill, inheritable. Whenever you attack, if you have 3 or less security, you're able to play a level 3 from your hand. Of course, that's literally the best part of this deck, I want to say. Of course, WarGreymon is, you know, one of the other key parts, but this is one of the main reasons why this deck works and why I'm playing so many rookies, since I'm playing the 16. And a very, very solid card, one of the best in the deck. It does get got by opposing WarGreymon, so definitely be careful when you're playing this out in the yellow mirror matches. Next up, we have 2 WarGreymon. WarGreymon is another very solid level 5. You know, it's inheritable. When you have 3 or less security, you gain 1,000 attack. Definitely very good because, like in the mirror match, you can have your WarGrey be at 12, kill their WarGrey with no problem. Being at 12 is also very important because if they have Kentaurismon and you kill their Kentaurismon minus is 11k on one of your characters, so your WarGrey will be safe because they'll still have the 1k left thanks for till the WarGrowl, and then at the end of the turn, he'll go back up to at least 11k in your opponent's turn. And then, of course, there's Digiburst skill, and just being at 12 in general is just like a decent threshold. Of course, that's the strongest you can get in this deck for WarGreymon anyway, with my build anyway. I guess there are actual ways, but it makes your Mastemon, you know, 13, and then it makes your Balder Arm 15, so it makes you pretty much have an Omni on the field, but normally the difference between 14 and 15 is not really doing much. But yeah, and then next up we have, of course, the Digiburst, which is really good, has very strong synergy with Patamon. It has, you know, just get rid of those memory choker blockers, like memory choker, did I say that? Memory blockers like Gazimon, I forgot the little black rat's name, or the pink rat, the black Digimon, the pink rat, whatever his name is, Gazi Interior. Yeah, so you can just get rid of those and then play Blinded Ray if you need to. Again, I already talked about the Mastemon where you can Digiburst, and then you're able to Digiburst and you're able to gain 1 with Patamon and then be at 4 memory and then Digivolve over it, be at 0, and then still be able to attack, which is always really nice. And it does have 7k. Sometimes it does come in handy to be able to hit that. You can also hit the 5k threshold. Well, I mentioned that earlier, to be able to get rid of their level 4 blockers, which is really good. So overall, very solid card. If I were to, I actually kind of want to play 3. Because I want to play Magna Dramon, I potentially want to take out this this Angemon and play 3 WarGrowl, 3 Angemon. And because I'm playing a Magna Dramon, that redundancy potentially is not needed. Or I'm crazy and I should just need to stick with 4 Angemon because she's ridiculous. And next up, and last but not least, who was also very important in this tournament, was the Sirenmon. So I will say, I think this can definitely be Antilamon, the big rabbit. It's like a 7-drop, and it has 8k attack, and it's also still a 2-cost, vanilla. But the biggest part was it just can't get got by a opposing WarGreymon. Of course, Sirenmon has 6k, so she can easily get, unfortunately deleted by WarGreymon. So the 5 cost did not come up. I didn't run into any like Mega Zoos or any red yellow security controls, and you're gonna see those matchups so little. Less often right now. Not as often, I don't know how to say that, not as often, because the deck is just rare. Most of the time, like, you're gonna be playing against yellow WarGreys or blues or greens for the most part. You might have 1 or 2 rounds where you're gonna run into red yellow security control that's giving you a lot of memory, or Megazoo, which you might not actually run into. So my point being is, like, her being a 5-drop wasn't important enough for me to be like, all right, you gave me 9 memory, I'm gonna play her for 5, play WarGrey over it, still go in on the same turn because you gave me, so much memory. Well, I say that, but it's not like you hard drop this and you can attack with the WarGrey the same turn. But again, digression aside, her being a 2-cost is very important, is what I'm ultimately getting at. When I had 2 memory, a lot of times, if I would have played 4 WarGrowl and 4 Angemon like I was going to in the first place, that would have put my opponent at 1 a lot instead of rather going to 0 and then being able to play Slash Angemon over it. So her coming up was very clutch. Trusting the vanillas, they're definitely good. I'm playing all these other rookies. Otherwise, I'd be playing, Sukaimons. And like the normal standard WarGrey, I play Sukaimons because that 2-drop vanilla is just very good to be able to help, build up a new board. And then next up for the big bags, some of the other important, I guess every card in here is important. I don't want to isolate and say something's more important than the others, but of course, like, I mean, the deck's named after this guy, right? We got yellow WarGreymon. So this WarGreymon obviously is insane. Not a whole bunch to say about this. He can get 2 attacks in, 11k attack. The alt art this is my favorite alt art in the game currently. Very, very dope. Don't laugh at my one non-alt art. I actually went through a phase where I pulled WarGreymon out of the pre-release packs, and yeah, it just drew blood, and I went on a AA spree. I just went and got a whole bunch of alternate arts. I guess it works out because I want to have a master collection of one of each alt art anyway. But now the high is over. There are certain cards I still do want to have 4 alt arts, and there are some where I just want 1 and then the rest can be regular. So I'm looking to downgrade. I already traded my friend and downgraded. I got a normal yellow WarGrey and gave him the alternate art with the, you know, compensation in between for the difference. And then I'm looking to do the same thing with this one too. So if you're interested, hit me up. But yeah, so 3 yellow WarGrey. I kind of actually wish I would have played 4 for this deck specifically. Of course, again, this card is just insane. Minus 6k on somebody. You can attack twice. Very strong card. I will have to isolate the best card in the deck, because without him, you know, a lot of this deck wouldn't be doing what it does. And next up, of course, we talked about him earlier, but we have the plug here. Another plug, Slash Angemon. Slash Angemon is a very good card, of course. Again, like I was saying with the, of course, you know, the old, I want to say the old school, the bread and butter is WarGrey Slash to be able to get rid of a 12k body. I did that to a Grand Kawagamon that was like fully loaded earlier, I remember. I felt like I did it to like another character, I don't remember what it was. But yeah, that 12k threshold is like, very hard to get to, you know, except for with this line right here with the Slash, and that's just very good. And you know, yeah, just not a lot more to say about it. But I will say it kind of underperformed despite it like coming up in a couple of matchups. Yes, it got rid of a Cherrymon that had a full line that could have Nidhogged me the following turn. So it's like, okay, if I had Magna Dramon over this, I wouldn't have been able to get rid of that Cherry, and I might have could have lost. So the thing, it might have could have, is that a line? Anyway, I want to say I just need to test without these and see how much I will miss them, or if I would miss them at all. I'll just say it like that. But for what it was worth, they were fine. And I honestly, like if I was locked in on a deck list and couldn't change this deck list, I wouldn't be upset that I couldn't play Slash again. Slash is still a very solid card. And then last but not least, for our 6s, we have 2 Mastemon. So this is what I was talking about it's a WarGrey Mastemon deck. I have to give the deck name a plug to this card because this card is so important in this format right now. Shout out to Mr. George that won last week with a full Mastemon deck that wasn't even playing WarGrey. That's how good this card is. You actually, like Mastemon being your main focus, pick them up before they really skyrocket. I know a couple of the YouTubers have been doing deck profiles on them. So before they randomly just skyrocket, because the Digimon card game market is insane sometimes with the fluctuation, get you some Mastemons. Card is very solid, and I need an alt art too. I need to hurry up. Anyway, but yeah, it's a 4-cost Digivolve. You can Digivolve over a purple or yellow. We have no purple Digimon in this deck except for the 2 Mastemons. But of course, since all of our guys are yellow, you can Digivolve for 4 over it. I kind of got greedy and tried to always look for the play to like be able to summon this and attack with it in the same turn, and I honestly need to stop doing that. Now I say that, and then but like most of the time when I did the Mastemon play, it worked out. But there are also times where, let's say you have a TK established and your opponent doesn't have a memory tamer. That happens a lot. You're at 3, you have a level 5, you bring your level 5 out of Raisin, or if you already have it on the field, whatever. If you drop the Mastemon, that's the 4, that'll put them to 1, and then you'll both trash top card of your stack, and then you'll bring back and establish maybe a Pitomon or a Unimon or a Turi even if you needed to, or you know, one of your level 3s, one of your plenty of level 3s. There were a couple times where I had to like blind array my top card and hope it was a level 3 or 4, and then do the Mastemon effect and then hope I hit a level 3 or 4, because like it was just early game and that was the only line I could do, and I don't know if I could have waited that long to drop a level 6. But that rarely came up like that. Honestly, every time I dropped Mastemon today, there was always something viable to get in the graveyard, on the trash, excuse me, Digimon players. Whether it was Bushiagamon, or if I was at 3 memory, you know, or 3 security, I can bring back Pulse and draw 1 and gain a memory. Of course, getting Bushi is the best case scenario. Sometimes you get Loosemon, the Patamon, etc. Of course, you know, you just toolbox your graveyard, get whatever you need at the time. But definitely a very solid card, especially against like red yellow security control right now. And yeah, so. And last but not least, 2 Valdearm. Not a lot to say about Valdearm. I'm only playing 2 Valdearm instead of 3 because I am playing 4 or 5 level 5 yellows. Of course, you can't Digivolve over Mastemon because it is a purple Digimon. Despite it being able to Digivolve over purple or yellow, it is purple. So I got to keep that in mind. So only 2 Valders. I didn't miss the 3rd actually, but I'd say that I miss it, but I didn't miss it in this deck. So like it does feel weird only playing 2, but this ratio is correct based off of the fact that I'm playing 5 you know, yellow Digimon. And then last but not least, we have 4 Blinding Ray, Jesus Christ, right? And then 3 TK. So this ratio is very important. Shout out to JP. First of all, well, not first of all, I guess let's revert all the way back. Reverse. All the way back to the beginning. Yeah, this deck list was like based off of a Japan deck list I saw a long while ago, and I was like, Mastemon, why are they playing Mastemon? So I eventually started trying it, and I was like, oh, I love this. So yeah, the Blinding Rays at max value here, especially because you're playing 4 Bushimon, or Bushi Agumon. Yeah, just having these and like being able to use these at will and really manipulate is very good. But I think it also takes a certain amount of awareness to be careful how you're manipulating your security, because you can definitely get yourself into trouble with this. Like I got myself into trouble a couple times. Like the one I think I had that turn when I went for game and ran into the Hammer Spark. I think I also shaved one with the Blinding Ray, I want to say. So yeah, definitely got to be very careful with this card. But I think it's at 4 for the sake of like when you let's say earlier in the game you put your opponent like to like 3 security. Well, if you have a level 5 and let's say you have your TK established and you're at 3, you need 1 more member in order to drop Mastemon and be able to still attack with it. Well, especially if you have the Angelwoman under the Mastemon, that's where this gets broken, because you play the Blinding Ray, you go to 5, you drop Mastemon, go to 1, you shave another one off of each player. Keep in mind you shave 2 because you Blinding Raid and then you also Mastemon, but you bring back Bushy, and then if they have 3 left, depending on what the rest of your hand is, I've had turns where like I bring back the Bushy with the Magna or the Mastemon and get these names mixed up. And yeah, like I would attack with the Mastemon, drop another Bushy from hand with the Angelwoman under it, and then like, so that's 1 security, then the Bushy takes care of the last 2 security. So little simple plays like that, it definitely just kind of can catch your opponent off guard, and there's nothing they can really do about it, you know. And same with like the rest of them, like Mallow Myotismon and the Mega Completarymon level 5 and green and all that. Those cards are all very good right now because of the format and like red yellow security control being a very strong tier 1 deck, if not probably the best deck, to be honest, because this deck has a tough time against it. Well, I lied, I take that back. Yellow WarGrey is still the best deck, but the red yellow security control definitely gives it a run for its money, and it definitely just beats up on green too, because green can't really do the things they normally like to do because they're always losing their stuff, especially the Gaia forces, etc. But digression aside, this was the ratio I played. I will be testing 3 and 3 to see if I missed the 4th one or not, and that's really it. So guys, I hope you guys enjoy the deck profile. Guys and girls, enjoy the deck profile, and I will be doing more deck profiles soon. So soon throughout time, throughout the next couple of weeks, I'll also be doing more gameplay. Gameplay is where I definitely like to do. I also am a big commentary guy. In the Transformers TCG, I did a ton of commentary for that game. I still do, actually, because I still play the game. So I'll be looking to try to do commentary for this game. I think I'll be able to do that at this point to some capacity for this game, because I'm familiar with a lot of the cards, but there'll still be some cards where I'll trip up and have no idea what the cards are. So I might be like, yeah, he plays a level 3. We'll just say he plays a level 3 and we'll figure out the effect when it comes up, if it comes up, kind of thing. But I really like doing commentary, so I want to start doing that eventually at some point, and we will see. But yeah, more content coming to you soon. I'll definitely have some more deck profiles, definitely a whole bunch more gameplay, because that's what I really love posting is gameplay, and just to share, experiences over in this neck of the woods in Pennsylvania where I'm at currently. So with that, I will catch you guys and girls later. Y'all have a great day and or night whenever you're catching this video. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed, and again, expect more content soon. This is your boy S. Dot heading out. Peace. Warrior.